although we are not supposed to pick favorites, but Uzbekistan is one of my most favorite countries. It takes you back to history as if you're walking a few hundred years back in time and enjoying the most beautiful infrastructure and everything. We have with us Abdulaziz Aka, hoş geldiniz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Abdulaziz is the marketing manager for the Ministry of Innovation and Development of Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is ranked third in Central Asia. It's, I guess, the most populated or crowded country in Central Asia. Very strong in software and data, food tech, fintech, and also very, very beautiful in the metro stations in the cities and the history, the nature.
Yes.
There's so much to talk about. I'm gonna let you take on, Abdulaziz.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this great event. We're wanting to share our potential, Uzbekistan's potential to worldwide. Mr. Mahmoud, can you share my presentation, please? I have some technical issues with my laptop, as I said before.
Sure. Can you see that? Can you see it?
Yeah, sure. So this year, our ministry transformed to Agency for Innovative Development of Uzbekistan. And I start with some brief information about Uzbekistan. So Uzbekistan is one of the crossroads, trade crossroads of Eurasia, and its economy is very rapidly growing and very stable. And one of the great, most important potential is our young generation, because approximately 60% of our population includes from 18 to 30 years old generation, and they are well educated, and it's good for workforce. And we have diverse of natural resources like natural gas, gold, oil, and etc. And our population is, as Mr. Mahmoud said, in the first in Central Asia, and more than 36 million of people according to last statistics. And actually, Uzbekistan's position is very important, because is very strategically important, both economically and politically. And next, please. So over the past few years, we faced some reforms initiated by the government, and from 2017 till 2021. And one of the key reforms is actually after the action strategy for development of Uzbekistan. And one of the key reforms, I can say that I can count the key reforms like currency liberalization. And after this, entrepreneurs in Uzbekistan are able to do their business in abroad freely, and some customs reforms, and we removed some artificial restrictions on foreign trade, and some price liberalization, tax reforms, and there are several tax incentives in Uzbekistan now. And public-private partnership is very important thing for entrepreneurs in Uzbekistan. And from the last year, we started some digitalization of several spheres of economy and public sector, as well as startup sector, of course, and state enterprise reforms was also included in this case. The next, please. Thank you. Uzbekistan has in several rankings, performance of Uzbekistan. First of all, I can say that for the last 5 years, we changed, we moved up in several rankings. For example, global innovation ranking. We moved up to 5 places, and now Uzbekistan is on the 82nd globally, and for doing business also it's in good place, 69, and economic freedom. It was in 2016. It was placed in 166, but now it is in 180s, and according to agenda of sustainable development of Uzbekistan by 2030, Uzbekistan is planning to be at least on top of 50 in such kind of rankings. So next, please. Thank you. About macroeconomic growth and stability, Uzbekistan's GDP growth rate was very stable till 2020, as every country faced some issues, some problems after COVID-19 crisis. And Uzbekistan was also one of them. But in 2021, very rapidly rose Uzbekistan, and it was 7.4% in 2021. And after this year, we expected only 3.4%. But last year, in 2022, Uzbekistan's GDP growth rate was 5.8%, and it's very good for Uzbekistan's economic growth. Next, please. About exporting and importing. So our main export products are especially raw materials like gold, metals, or some agri-foods, or some chemicals, and energy, as well as, and some kind of services. We also export to foreign countries, and the main export partners are especially China, Russia, and Turkey. With Uzbekistan, we have good trade partnership with them, and main imports is machinery products and chemicals, of course, and main import partners also above mentioned countries: Russia, China, and of course our neighborhood country, Kazakhstan. Next, please. So I want to show our ministries, I mean the ex-ministries, the results of the our agencies which supported the startups during the period of 2019 and 2022. So in this period, we supported 175 startups, Series A startups, I mean, and we funded with totally more than $11 million, US dollars, and they created new jobs, and their production capacity was expected more than $12 million, and 40 startups out of them was successful, and they are continuing their successful startup companies, like they were exits, and unfortunately 8 of them were in the dead valley, and more than 100 startups are continuing their projects with us nowadays. So and we are implementing some international projects also. And for 2023, I mean, this year, we planned to support 122 startups in Uzbekistan. I mean, the local startups with a total funding of $8 million in 1 year. And we want to create more than 1,000 jobs for with the help of these startups. And actually, the new thing for Uzbekistan is we are implementing the startup law this year, and it's very good. This includes all the regulations on startups, and we are wanting to support youth startups also with more than $5 million in this year. And we are launching some international accelerate programs for entrepreneurs also. Next, please. So startups by stage. So we had more than 1,000 pre-startups. I mean, there's some startup ideas or some young startup companies, and we supported more than 100, and they are continuing their operation nowadays, and we have nowadays we have is a fintech startup, and it's very good to support the social and economical side of the Uzbekistan's entrepreneurship sector. Next, please. So most of the startups are financed by the help of the Ministry of Innovative Development, I mean the Agency for Innovative Development of Uzbekistan, and except of this, most of startups can get funds from their own funding or some bank loans or venture capitalists also. And Ministry of Innovative Development don't get back that foundation, and it's very helpful and it's very important for startups to develop their business goals and reach their business goals, and they can continue their business proceedings. How can I say, in very high trends. So next, please. Thank you. As I said before, most of the population in Uzbekistan are young people, so that's why, for example, is Tashkent, and more than 70% of the startup founders in Tashkent are youth people. I mean, their age under the 35, and highest level of education for Uzbek startups are bachelor's and master's degree startups. And so that's why actually the young scholars and some students are organizing the startup companies in Uzbekistan, and it's also the good side of Uzbekistan. And next, please. Thank you. So most of talented we need, so startups are demanding most of technical specialists and some managers in product and marketing. So that's why in Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan are giving much attention to ICT startups and agriculture and food tech. So that's why these kind of specialists are very highly demanded in Uzbekistan. Next. projects, which were supported by the ministry. They are from the field in the field of tourism, agriculture, healthcare, food tech, and other economical fields. So next. So main stakeholder of Uzbekistan's ecosystem is Agency for Innovative Development. And there are lots of government and non-governmental organizations, universities, and some venture capitals, funds to support the startup ecosystem. Actually, there are more than 200. Actually, most of them are local companies, which are stated in the Uzbekistan, and they support local startups, and they give the venture capitals or some state grants with the help of the state budget. Next, please. So we held several events and networking projects, some incubator and accelerator programs, which was successful last year. First of them, our contest, which was held, which is organized by the Ministry of Innovative Development, and we support the startups with a fund up to $150,000 for each startup, and then we hold some incubator and accelerator programs with the help of the non-governmental organizations and companies. And we have venture capital company, Uzvisi, and this company also supports the startups, and IT Park, which is one of the most, how can I say, significant companies of the Uzbekistan startup ecosystem. Next. So government is supporting the startups with several opportunities. So as I said, the state grants up to $150 and some tax benefits. I mean, the incentives for specific startups, for example, in the field of ICT. As you can see, the corporate and there is no corporate and unified corporate income tax and unified social payments for them, and there is no import customs except import customs for them, and personal income tax is only 7.5% for these startups. Actually, for ordinary entrepreneurs, the corporate income tax is 4 or 5%, and personal income tax is 12%. 12%, and unified social payments is also 12%. And there are a high range of import customs for this ordinary entrepreneurs. And for venture capitals, they can build some organizations with the help of the state funding, and we don't get back this funding while they support local startups. And for foreign entrepreneurs and investors, we can give some beneficial visas like IT visa or business visa, which is very open economically. And we have several free economic zones and use economic zones for specific startup projects. And the technoparks are absolutely free for most of them, for most of youth startups. Thank you very much. And we are trying to, how can I say, move up to top 50 in the StartupBlink ranking also. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sure that's possible with time, because we've seen a massive migration of talent to Uzbekistan in the recent years, especially in hardware and IoT and software and data. So thank you so much again for